So I remember that very distinctly, that they were beginning to kind of ask me what was going on and what's wrong with mom, and then the crying began to start, and she was trying to respond to them that she's okay, mom's okay, but that wasn't the case. She was not okay. Um, yeah, I remember the ambulance coming in, and before that, I remember going back over to tell her, talk to her, and hold her, and find out how she was doing, and she asked me what happened. I told her you had passed out and stopped breathing, and she told me she couldn't see me, and I told her, you said you couldn't see me, you didn't know where I was, and your eyes had stopped moving, and you stopped blinking, and they were fixed and dilated, and she was quite shocked and amazed that had happened. She said she didn't remember any of that, and I remember the paramedics coming in, and I'm trying to keep the kids upstairs, and they're crying hysterically at this point, and I'm trying to go console them and trying to figure out a way to tear myself into two pieces to be able to sit there with my wife while they're trying to evaluate her and get her strapped to the gurney and get her out of the house, and while still consoling the kids and still trying to find a solution for having someone to watch them. I think I managed to call my brother or my sister to let them know what was going on, and I think I was able to get a hold of my. I know I was able to get a hold of my next door neighbor, and Justin came over to sit and watch them, or let them go over to his house. That I don't remember what the plan was. I know for sure he stayed at my house though until my oldest boy came, because I was also able to get a hold of Shane and let him know he needed to come home. I said I don't usually call you during practice. I don't usually call you doing things like that. Actually, it was school. It wasn't even practice. He just got out of school, so you need to call your coach, let him know, but you need to come home. Briefly told him what was wrong with his mom, and tell him I'm on my way to the hospital as soon as I find someone to watch his brothers. And remember the neighbor came over, and I followed the ambulance over to the hospital, Loma Linda and Marietta, and they still thought they were chasing pain problems. And so chasing pain, and sitting in ER and putting her back on those pain meds. And another day goes by, and still in the hospital. They transferred her to a regular room upstairs. And I remember her sister Kasha Mrs. Smith was there with her, and it was actually not even the day passed. I remember when they got to the hospital. I remember Kasha stayed there with her that night, so I could come home and stay with the kids. And she said somewhere between 8:30 and 9 o'clock that night or later, she just went to the same type of episode that I described to her. She stopped breathing and stopped communicating, and eyeballs fixed and dilated, and they called for code blue for a crash cart to come. And of course, that would have freaked out anybody, right? Cash wasn't too excited about that happening. And by the time the crash cart arrived and the doctors arrived, she had begun to breathe again. So there was no reason to shock her with the paddles or do anything crash cart related, but they still weren't sure what that was all about. And next day comes. I was there this afternoon, 2:30. Same thing again. She zoned out and stopped breathing, and eyeballs fixed and dilated, and cold blue for crash cart. And in comes this rush of medical staff. And it's 3 of these episodes in a day and a half, and of course I'm trying to demand the doctors find some solution, find something wrong with her, something we would know to hang our hat on.